Christians like to say that nations were done away with, and that is not so according to scriptures. All the nations mentioned in the Bible are here today. Their names have been changed. Now when you get to Genesis 25:21, you read the origin of the so-called white man.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner means 2 different types. 2 different types of people shall be separated.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Now we know that they were not identical because the verse above it says, and 2 manner of people shall be separated. So these is what's called fraternal twins.
And the first came out red all over like in hairy garment,
Because the red blood shows through his skin.
and they called his name Esau.
Esau means wasted away is he. His brown pigment was wasted away.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
So Esau is Edom, as we read in Genesis 25.
Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth,
Meaning you're going to live in all the best places on the earth.
and of the dew of heaven from above.
You're going to cover the earth like the dew of heaven. That means everywhere. Esau is everywhere.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Now he just explained how Esau would live in the best places on earth and how they would live everywhere by their sword. How did they get in South Africa? By the sword. How did they get in America? By the sword. Every place you look where they're at, they got there by what? The sword.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
So Esau's a prideful people, very prideful.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. During the time of the Dark Ages, it's making reference to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Hence the word Caucasian.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
In order to say that, you got to have what, brothers? Power. When the power they got is thermonuclear power.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
What's the symbol of America? The eagle. What was the symbol of Spain? France? Germany? Russia? Britain? The daggone eagle. They love that symbol. Why? It's a bird of prey.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Though thy set, that's talking about space travel. What they do in 1969? They went to the moon and said the eagle has landed. You got me?
Thence will I bring thee
In
down.
that time, America's been coming down.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come,
Is referring to the second coming of the Lord.
except there come a falling away first.
So Paul says the first thing that has to happen before the Lord returns, the Israelites must fall and go into captivity. All 12 tribes.
And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
So that man of sin, the son of perdition, is your friendly neighborhood white man. He has to be revealed as the wicked the Bible speaks of.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
The woman here is Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle,
For a great escape, go ahead.
that she might fly into the wilderness,
The wilderness at this time was Africa.
into her place,
From Africa, we went to America.
where she is nourished
Here, this is the part I want, where she is nourished
for a time,
for a time
and
and
times,
times.
and half a time,
350 years. Let's see who's nourishing us.
from the face of the serpent.
You hear what it's saying? The serpent is nourishing us. The serpent. Another name for serpent, brothers, is the devil is nourishing us. He gives us food. He gives us clothes, education. He gives us religion. Whatever we need, the serpent gives it to us.
They that see thee
They that see thee, talking about Lucifer, the damn devil,
shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
is this what?
The man that made the earth to tremble?
Is it one dude running around the earth making it tremble? How do you make the earth tremble, brothers? Let's read.
That did shake kingdoms?
Is it one man running around shaking kingdoms, brothers? Talking about a race of man. Read.
That made the world as a wilderness?
Is it one man running around making the world as a wilderness, brothers? Talking about a race of men.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Where did we read about this color red earlier? Genesis 25. So this great red dragon is talking about Esau. Who can name the 7 heads? The 7 heads are the 7 great Edomite empires.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Who knows the 10 horns? Those are the 10 common markers. Now there's more, but those are the first main ones from 1957 to 1981. So the 7th head is Britain, right? Specifying Britain for a reason.
And the beast that was
The beast that was in your vision
and is not,
and is not currently in existence.
even he is the 8th
He's the 8th head.
and is of the 7th,
He is of the 7th head. He came from Great Britain
and goeth into perdition.
and goeth into destruction, damnation. So what is John talking about? America.
Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
What kind of man, brothers? Esau, your friendly neighborhood white man.
And his number is 600 threescore and 6.
666. What does it represent?
And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal,
6 seal.
and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Watch the next verse is going to make it plain what it's talking about.
And the heaven departed as a scroll
What makes that effect? A nuclear bomb.
when it was rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
So every island's going to be moved out the way.
And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains,
That's those underground bunkers.
and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
See that? From the wrath of the Lamb.
For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Paul was telling us about the vessels of wrath. So this 6th seal is the wrath that's coming upon Esau, coming upon America.
And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet.
So write this down. The 6th trumpet. So far we got the 6th seal. Now we're reading about the 6th trumpet.
Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them.
So what is he talking about here? World War III, destruction, the wrath of the Lamb, the wrath of God.
And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth, and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions,
Because they roared. Go ahead.
and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone.
So John the Revelator is giving us a vision of war around the great river Euphrates. He see these missiles. He's never seen one before. He's describing it as best he can. He said they sound like lions. And it's out of his mouth goes what? Fire, smoke, and brimstone. That's boom. Read.
By these 3 was the 3rd part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths.
He's seeing these missiles being shot in great destruction. He's never seen nothing like that, so he's using a similar to it as best he can.
For their power is in their mouth,
For their power is in their mouth. Talk about these missiles. Go ahead.
and in their tails.
And in their tails. Go ahead.
For their tails were like unto serpents.
When he saw the missiles, he's describing it. What the hell is that? It looks like a snake is doing this. He's describing the force used to push the missile.
And had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold, and silver, and brass, and stone, and of wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their theft.
So John says the men that remained alive still didn't repent after he saw this great destruction.
And the sixth angel poured out of his vial.
Write that down. Sixth vial. So far we got the sixth seal, the sixth trump, now the sixth vial. And so far they've all described nothing but destruction. Go ahead.
And the sixth angel poured out of his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
So this includes China, this includes the Arabs, this includes everybody. What is this talking about? War, war, war.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their forehead.
So what is this mark, brothers? God is saying that in the last days, some shall depart from Christ, having your conscience seared with hot irons in sin.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
So he's telling you right there in verse 1, seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their forehead.
Take my democracies, take my religions, take my policies. So what is this mark, brothers? Sin.
And that no man might buy or sell.
Give me another word for buy or sell. Another word. Trade. That's what it's talking about, trade.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
You have to have the mark. Meaning you have to have some allegiance with Babylon the Great, right?
Or the name of the beast.
Or you gotta accept the name of it. It's the name of the beast.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
You know why it's a mystery, brothers? Because this place feeds us. This place educates us. This place gives us homes and houses.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
If you doubt us, America, you name another country that rules over the kings of the earth. Who is ruling this earth? America.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So it's saying nobody can trade unless you have the mark. And his name is what, brothers? Mystery, Babylon the Great. It says you cannot trade unless you accept either the mark, his name, or the number of his name. And if you go against this man, what does he do to you? Well, let a nation, any country get out of order, they press a button and freeze all their accounts. There's no buying or trading with Iran. He puts an embargo, he cuts you off.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth,
Where the whore sitteth, where America sitteth, meaning in everywhere,
are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
because America's military is everywhere. Go ahead.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest
The
upon
10
the
horns is the European Union. Go ahead.
which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore,
These shall hate America. Go ahead.
and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
They all going to turn on America. That's why Obadiah said, all the men of your confederacy that eat your bread, they're going to turn on you. They're going to put a wound in you.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin.
Man of what?
That man of sin.
That man of sin, of sin, of sin, of sin, of sin. Go ahead.
Be revealed, the son of perdition.